Thanks for stopping by Ambrosia Yoga. I'm Bronwyn, or B. And today I'm continuing with the Yoga for Snowboarders series with some of my favorite stretching positions post-snowboarding. So before I stretch, I just want to give this little tip. I always roll out after snowboarding. Feels really good on your legs or is really painful, depending on how many knots you have. And I stole this from my fiance's high school coach, I think. But if you think about it, if you don't stretch before stretching, you're just pulling that knot even tighter. So it's really good to stretch out or roll out before you stretch. And there's these great little hand ones too if you'd rather just roll it out. So cool. Let's get started. Let's get started in recline bound angle pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Just let your back rest on the earth beneath you. And just feel yourself getting settled in. Spreading your hips out wide. Just feeling that gentle opening in recline bound angle pose. When you're ready, bring the left sole of your foot to the earth. And bring your right leg across your left thigh. So we're setting up for like supine figure 4 stretch. But instead of stretching it out, you can bring your hands behind the base of your skull, or I like to cross them over my chest. And we're just gonna do little supine figure 4 twists. So this is just a nice little stretch and it warms us up, and it's also just a gentle little oblique workout. So we'll just do a few of these. I typically do 12, but we'll just do 6 on each side. So that's 3. Try to stay nice and stable. Doing these as slowly as you can. It's better to do them a little slower than quicker. So just listen to your body. And then this is the last one. Again, you can always pause this and do more, maybe do another set after. I won't keep you too long, so the video is nice and short and sweet. And then switch sides, so we'll do 6 on this side. You're just keeping your legs in that supine figure 4 position. And just really try to hold on that retention on the downfall. Lost track a little, but I think we have 2 more. Remember to connect with your breath. And here's our last one. Inhale, hug your knees into your chest. An option to stay here for a supine figure 4 stretch, to stretch out your hips a little, or rock and roll along the length of your spine. And inhale into a high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale, half pigeon. So again, if this doesn't feel good in your knee, settle down into that supine figure 4 stretch where we just were. You might need a block, that might feel a little better. Or you might want to stay up on your palms. So puff up your chest. Take a peek over your right shoulder where your bent knee is, just to pull your left hip tip forward and make sure your back leg is straight. Puff up that chest, and then you can stay where you are on your palms. Maybe come down onto your forearms or a block. Or if you're at home and don't have any blocks, you could always use some books. Maybe some rolled towels, water bottles, weights. Whatever allows you to feel comfortable and deepen into the stretch or ease out. Just listen to your body and what you are needing in this present moment. Connecting to your breath. And just staying here in this still, silent space. Knowing when you need to ease out of the stretch or deepen in. And allowing yourself to release any points of tension that you're holding on to in your body. Stay here for a few more moments. Begin to deepen your breath. And when you're ready, inhale, press up onto your palms. You can always hold it a little longer if you want to. Exhale, curl your toes, lift your knee. Inhale, three-legged dog. Roll out your knees and hips if that feels good. And then exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, half pigeon, or maybe supine figure four on this side. One side might feel different than the other. Just acknowledge that about yourself and listen to your body. Once again, peek over your left shoulder to pull that right hip tip forward and make sure your back leg is straight. Inhale, puff up your chest. Exhale, half pigeon. Notice how one side might feel a little different than the other. You might notice on this side I don't have a block and I did on the other side. That's perfectly normal. My right side's a lot tighter than my left. And unfortunately I don't do my physical therapy exercises as much as I should. So just keep breathing in this space, enjoying the stretch. Feeling that opening of your hips and how good that feels after working them so hard on the mountain. Allow your body to release any points of tension you're holding on to. Allowing yourself to completely relax. Begin to deepen your breath when you feel complete, evening yourself out. And when you're ready, inhale, gently rise up onto your palms. Exhale, curl your back toes, lift your knee. Inhale, three-legged dog. Roll out your knees and hips if that feels good. And then exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, look towards the top of your space. Exhale, ragdoll. Come to the top of your mat and bring your feet about hips width distance or maybe a little wider if that feels good. Allowing your chest, neck, and head to just hang heavy. We're just going to stay here for a moment as we transition to our next stretch. But just let this feel good in your body, allowing gravity to do the work. Swaying your hips from side to side to release your low back. Take a couple more breaths here. Inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, toe heel your feet even wider. So you want them to be pretty wide. Do what feels comfortable in your body. Inhale, reach your arms high, puff up your chest for star pose. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. You can slightly angle in your toes if they aren't already. And take a micro bend or maybe a more generous bend in your knees if that feels better to really protect your knee joints. Allow gravity to pull you closer to your mat. I like to continue to sway from side to side when I'm down here and take a little bind, grabbing opposite elbows. Do what feels good for you. Maybe grab your ankles or calves or feet and pull your chest closer to your mat. Maybe do some skandhasanas, angling out your toes and switching from side to side. That feels really good in that inner line of your leg after a long day on the mountain. But just be careful because your legs might be a little tight if they're not stretched out or rolled out enough. You can also take a little chest expansion, clasping your hands at your sacrum and keeping a micro bend in your elbows while allowing your hands to glide toward your head. If this doesn't feel good, of course, just release it. This one I like to sway from side to side as well. Really open up my shoulders. Just be gentle and careful with yourself. And when you're ready, bring your hands to the center of your mat. You can, of course, stay here a little longer if that feels good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, tee out your arms. Inhale, rise all the way back up for star. Exhale, come down onto your mat for our final little stretch. So you're just going to come down onto your backs, and I'm going to leave you guys here. So Palamuttanasana. So inhale your right knee up into your chest. Bring your hands around your shin, and you're just going to take a nice little stretch here. Take 5 deep breaths in this position. Connecting to your breath, noticing any sensation arising in your body. When you're ready, bring your leg just a little bit closer to that outer edge of your ribs. So you had it in the center of your chest, and you're just gonna bring it over a little bit to that outside edge of your right side body, keeping your back and both of your hips glued to your mat, and just taking it over to the right as much as it feels good in your body. Let's take these 5 deep breaths over here. Breathing into that space. And then once you've done the 5 breaths on that side, you're going to bring your leg back through the center and do one final stretch. So you're going to bring your knee over toward your left side this time, but don't bring it too far over because you still want your back and hip connected to the earth. So just be gentle with yourself and take these 5 deep breaths in this area. Easing out or deepening in if you need to. Just really listening to your body and what you need. Once you've taken the 5 deep breaths, just switch sides. And this is going to be our last little section. So inhale your left knee up into your rib cage. Feel that compression. Take your 5 deep breaths over here on this side. once you've completed your 5 breaths in this section, you're just going to bring your knee from the center of your chest a little more over to the left side, to that outer edge of your ribs. Hug it in still. Take those 5 deep breaths and make sure both of your hips are glued to your mat. Take your time, and once you've done the 5 deep breaths on that side, hug your knee over toward the right side. Remember to keep both of your hips and low back connected to the earth beneath you. And breathe into that space, taking your 5 deep breaths. Here if you'd like to, and keep stretching it out. Maybe play the video again. Subscribe to Ambrosia Yoga to stay tuned with these weekly videos that drop every Tuesday. This winter we're working on the Yoga for Snowboarders series, but there's plenty of other videos, and everyone's welcome, not only for snowboarders.